So now that we got our code editor open, and we're just gonna write a hello world program without any kind of runtime, any kind of standard library. We're just going to use our kernel to do that thing for us, okay? Because in the user land, you cannot just directly manipulate the memory. So yeah, you need to use the kernel, and I'm gonna just do that. So I'm just gonna make a main.cc, and then I'm gonna include a simple Unix kernel, not Unix but Linux kernel header file Unix standard.h, and then we cannot use the int main, okay, because that will be shading, and since we cannot use that, we're gonna use what is lower level approach to do that, and that is extern c for telling the compiler, hey, please do not mangle this function. And then we just write a void star, that's it, okay. Now think of this like a magical function, because this is going to be started whenever your program tries to execute. So the operating system, or the kernel, is going to look for the underscore start entry, and then it's going to execute that part of the executable. In fact, the standard library also calls it function behind the scenes. You just don't know that, okay. Now there we go. We can still use a standard cout, but we're not going to use that because we don't have access to the standard template library. So what we are going to do instead, we're going to use a kernel calls, and for that I'm gonna firstly write a message to a character. So this is going to be a message, and our message will be hello world 2025, and then there we go. Now we need to write this message to the terminal, and this terminal only shows you the standard out, okay. And standard out is just kind of file, or in the Linux, because in Linux everything is a file, so you need to write to that file. And for writing to file, we have a kernel system call in Linux, okay, and that's called write. You can directly write to a file descriptor, and in Linux, file works like in a file descriptor. Your kernel have those integer numbers so that you can write to them. In this case, we're gonna write to the one. One is called for standard out, so we're gonna write in the standard out. Then what we're gonna write the message, and then you need to pass the size of the message. For that, I'm gonna use a size of message, and that's how you do it. Now, just to be safe, you can terminate the program with the exit system call. These are all system calls, okay. So this is going to be run blazingly fast. This is going to be fastest hello world program you can write on Linux. In fact, you can also remove this thing, but that's fine. It's a little safer feature you should have, okay. Now we're gonna compile this part. So for that, I guess we can compile this with this command no start files and no standard libraries ++ and we should be fine. And that's how you do it. Now we have this hello world executable, and then we're gonna run this, and you can see we have the hello world 2025, as simple as that. And that's how you are going to write to a program file descriptor.